everyone. Welcome back to the Mama Genius Festival / podcasting. Oh, my notebook just dropped. I'll get that in a minute. I am so excited for our next guest. She has taught me so much about self-portrait. And we're not talking about just how to take a picture. We're talking about how to see you, the inside of you, that genius inside of you come out through image. That's what Sheikha Khanna is all about. And I can't wait to bring her on. But first, let's go into our intro. Welcome to Mama Genius Hub podcast, where we support moms with big dreams, from entrepreneurship to personal aspirations. I'm your host, Michelle Kaiser, and I'm here to help you unlock your potential in all areas of life. Join us as we explore strategies for thriving in motherhood while pursuing the dreams, the key to actually unlocking your genius. Subscribe now and embark on a journey to realize your fullest potential. And we're back. And so Sheikha Khanna, India's first child and family photographer, speaker, teacher, and author of 100 Self-Portraits, 100 Dreams. It's such an amazing book. It's such an amazing experience. In her book, she brought together over 100 mothers worldwide to join hands and share their stories in words and through self-portraits. Sheikha was recognized by India's Prime Minister, who acknowledged her importance of bringing the issue of motherhood to the forefront. She has started Mothers United Movement, MUM, a movement regarding self-image. I cannot wait to bring on Sheikha. She is so vibrant, so full of energy. I have learned so much, but we have grown so much together. And welcome to the stage. Welcome to Mama Genius Hub Festival. Sheikha, I'm so excited to bring you on.
So excited to talk to you. Thank you so much for being you and creating such a beautiful festival.
How is the festival going for you? That's what I want to know. I've been asking everyone.
I keep tuning in, but I just think I'll be tuning in for next 6-7 months to be able to really get the nuggets, because it's so much. And I always think that I can listen to it and then I can just get over with listening to it, but then I stop the thing and I just have to write. So I'm in the middle of the kitchen work, I'm in the middle of my kids, or I'm working, and I will listen to something and I'm like, I need to stop. I need to write this. And there's such incredible speakers, very, very beautiful speakers. So I just think I'll be tuning in for next 6-7 months into finishing the podcast and connecting to these incredible women. I've connected to a few, but the list is long and the nuggets are unbelievable. So it can't be consumed. So I think whoever spent, like, it's worth whole year's information and stuff that is out there for us to learn from. So thank you for creating such a, it's just limitless, it has it doesn't have any boundaries of it ends here. It's just starting and it's just becoming limitless. So it's amazing.
It's even before, when we were chatting before we start recording, Sheikha was just saying how amazing it was to see the growth of it, because she was with me we've been doing the Worthy videos as well, talking about the books, and we took a break right now because of the festival, but she was seeing the progression of all this. I kind of wanted you to share a little bit on that.
Oh, well, I just, like, it seems, because I'm sitting in the same room, and we've been talking about the Worthy every Thursday. We've had few episodes, and otherwise we've been connecting a lot. And just from somebody who is in a creation mode, or trying to create, that those expressions of how it's going to be, how I want it to be, and that's what I was viewing, because I was viewing that. And from all doubts to surety, everything in one sentences would come out, like in one sentence. I know it's going to happen, but I don't know. And then from there, I still remember the first sign up. And when you told me the first sign up has happened, and I was like, wow, like that's it, the gates have opened. And since then, the gates opened and everything just fell in place. It was just like so beautifully you've reached there, not giving up. It was challenges at different level, and I am very honored that I had a chance to witness this, because 2 months before we started the Worthy, we were meeting, we were chatting before, after the Worthy conversation. And yes, we all are worthy and we are enough to do everything and just keep doing it. So it's incredible to see how many challenges you were facing at every level, the doubt and everything, and you crossed it. And there it is. The festival is right there.
Well, on that note, we're going to dive into your why and tell us more about how self-portraits even evolved for you.
Things, when you start doing things like these, like I'm doing, you realize that you think initially that it is all you who's doing this, but actually you're like, it was all given to you as a task. And what I'm doing in my life, it's right now a task given to me by the universe, and I'm just performing it. But before that, I had an ego thing attached to it, thinking I'm creating something called the self-portrait transformation, etc. But today I've reached a point in life with stuff that's happening around it and the magic that I'm seeing with like just the blooming of everybody getting through it. And it's not me, it's just i was just I was just told to open that door and just let the women pass through, and the golden dust will just let them show how amazing they are. So I will just say that story is long. Or I'm 42 years old. I think the story is a 42-year-old long story about how I ultimately reached self-portrait as a thing. But in short, as a photographer, I have witnessed, and a baby and child photographer. At the age of 18, I've witnessed the shrinking of a mother in front of the camera. And that shrinking is what was bothering me a lot, even at the age of 18 when I was not a mom. And um, I think somewhere the message came to me, and I remember telling everybody, I will never shoot any serious pictures, because people around me, my peers were all doing serious emotional artwork, and I said I'll only bring joy. And with that, and the inquiry in the fact that whenever I asked my clients, because I was told to ask your clients what you really want, I always received the answer of what they didn't want. And because the list of the long was so long of what they didn't want in the picture, make sure I kept on shooting that. Because before I spoke to them, the list was so long of what they didn't want. Don't see my mole, don't see my dark eye, under eye circles, or don't see my fat, and don't see me in this clothes, or don't. And I would just keep seeing that, and it artists can't detach to what they're seeing, because that's what's going to come, and then that was interfering. So I decided that I will not ask what you want. I just told them what I want from you. And then I end with the authority in my shoots. And whoever's witnessed my shoots and been with my shoots know that they thought it was never a shoot. It was a crazy meditation time for me. I just merged into those moments for those 3 4 hours. People got permission, children got permission to jump on the beds, mothers got permission to do whatever they wanted to do, and everybody was doing whatever they was doing. And I was just trying to master my natural light and get the best out of this, and show the world that this is priceless, not the tuxedos and the forced smiles. And I've had an incident also, which I say a lot, is that one of the families was all ready, and this I was hearing a lot of voice inside also, that boy said, I don't want to wear a t-shirt. And so I said, knocked at the door, and I said, he can come in without his t-shirt. He was 4 years old in the picture. And they're like, how is it possible? All of us have got ready. It's 8 of us here. How can he be not? And I said, well, I just want to ask you a question, that what are you going to remember 10 years from now when you see this picture? The fact that you forced a tuxedo and he had a forced smile, or the fact that he didn't want to wear a t-shirt and that would be like making you laugh, that no matter what you did, he still came in the formal picture without a shirt. And they said, of course, the second one. I said, that's it. As it will pain you that you forced him into something, and it'll pain him to see and damage him for. And from there, the self-image issues, I realized, I think I was picking it up constantly with my work. And when I became a mom, then of course it's a gift given to us, on by us ourselves, that we are not enough, we're not worthy, we're not beautiful. And I was just done with it by the time the second one came and lockdown happened, that this negative chatter has to stop, because there is a disconnect between how I feel about myself and how I see the world and try to show them. And if I have to be honest to my work of showing them that they're enough and amazing and worthy, I have to start feeling that. So I started the process of self portrait, that converted it into declaring 100 days, 100 inspiring interviews. And those inspiring interviews became a book. That book, I invited the mums out of the blue. I wrote to the prime minister. I did many things. I was just became unstoppable, because I showed up just like this. And then I became very passionate about doing this, because I saw the unleashing when a mother was allowed to tell her story her way, and she was allowed to show her pictures her way, not the way the world wanted them to come in. So we have all sorts of pictures in the book, funny faces, tied up, blindfolded, all sorts of pictures, and the permission granted. So I feel that's the why, that there are better things in life to worry about, not your enoughness. Like it's just that worthiness and enoughness is not the thing. It's an invisible string that is just tying us. We were born enough. We were always enough. We'll always be enough. And I'm just reminding them through a process of photographs that look at yourself, how awesome you are, how beautiful you are. But that's a process. It's a mental process, and it's a process, creative process. It's also a technical process to be able to emerge there. And it happens in the short period of 5 days that amazes me every time a batch comes in.
So true. I was one of those batches as well.
Yeah. It's a long answer I've given you, but I just wanted to make it short so that it's like the why is very clear, because it can be misunderstood as a vanity thing or something that we're trying to just like people come up with all sorts of questions to me. And so I wanted to make the moms clear that um, pictures makes, we celebrate through pictures. So let's celebrate ourselves and not say bad things about those pictures about ourselves when they see it. So yeah, that's
I love
why.
that so much, and it's true. Like as being in your course and part of this, and getting the idea of like you get the questions of vanity, but when you really come into it, it's really about self-expression, and really like understanding it in the sense that I can actually do that. And as you said, it's like the enoughness and that feeling. And once you start to see like that's me, on the camera, that's the way I want to look, and being able to say it doesn't have to be the way I was told it was supposed to be. And I think that is the difference between, and that's why I love how you took it to the self-portrait, because it really does start with the way you feel about yourself. And we're going to
Right.
come back in just a moment for some of those ways to actually bring that out in ourselves.
Attention mompreneurs. Do you feel like you're constantly juggling the responsibilities without a moment to yourself? It's time to pause and reflect with our Mama Genius quiz. Tailored for busy mamas like you, this quiz will help you identify what's blocking your path and inspire you to harness your unique strengths. Transform how you manage life and business, find your rhythm, and ignite your joy. Visit mamageniushub.com today to discover your Mama Genius. And that's mamageniushub.com.
So, Sheikha, I want to dive straight into how do you help moms? What are some of the tips we have to help unlock that self-portrait to really express that in ourselves?
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting away from the egocentric thing. I don't help anybody. They help themselves. I'm just opening the door for them. I'm not helping anyone. I'm not here to help, and neither do I have the authority to help anyone, because we all have to help our own selves. But yes, we need to get into places and situations like this Mama Festival. We have to find ourselves in situations where we can help ourselves, and we take the decision to register. We take the decision that's talking to us. It's always us. It's never somebody else helping us. And that's the thing. I'm just holding space. I start with the mindset, inner child questions. They answer and they find how they can help themselves, because there are things they've never thought about. And from there, get into the little bit of messaging through pictures, and then the technical part, because it's an art form, right? If you're expressing through music, if you're expressing through any kind of art, you need to learn the technical stuff. If you do paintings, if you do, so it is an art form at the end of the day. And it needs to know the creative side. So I also, and thanks to the phones, the creative side has become easier, unlike my time when I was on a film camera, when they had to really learn the technical stuff to be able to learn this art. So to answer that, yes, I don't help you, help yourself, but I have created a space where I can trigger a question, and the answers help you to unlock or let go of what's needed to let go. And yeah, and then I have some creative exercises, etc., which I mentioned. So if that helps.
Well, I love that how you said that it is really about, I think it really comes down to what unlocking that genius inside yourself and asking for that teacher. And so you're creating that space for them to explore and to really bring that forth. And I love how you brought out the inner child questions. I know a lot of times we forget about that child inside of us. And that is where the playfulness lives, but also where we've added some of that baggage that we have to release to find that playfulness. And I love your techniques and how to do it. So what is a question that one question that a mom could explore with today?
I would say a very powerful question, which is from the workshop, is directly that how long have you been feeling like this? And you'll be amazed what the answer would be. Like when you find the answers, all sorts of answers come in. Somebody commented on us, somebody said something, somebody judged us, we judged ourselves, we were in a situation, we felt humiliated, or camera was strangers, or trauma, or sexual abuse, all sorts of things come up of why they don't want to show up. So I think that's one question I can leak out definitely, to ask yourself, how long have you been feeling? And how long will you feel is a future question like this. How long will you feel like this? How long are you going to, how many more summers and winters? And I keep saying this again and again in a lot of my podcasts. If you live for 80 years, there are only 80 summers and 80 winters. I'm 42 years old. I've already lived 42 summers and 42 winters. I don't know how long I have to live from now on. How long will you not explore the life around you and live with an invisible string tying you and not expressing your self out there for what you're meant to be? Or even if you're not meant to be, or if there's no purpose, or there's no universe, you just came here to explore the life. At least do that. Even that is getting stopped if you do not show up in your full potential. If you can't walk on the road with a full smile, you can't see the bird chirping, you will not be able to see the butterfly, because you're so consumed with the unworthiness and the fact that I'm not enough and how will I live. And sometimes 80 years have passed just feeling like that, and time to go has come. And like, how many more summers and winters is the question.
Wow, I'm just sitting with that right now because it's so true when you think about how much time we have and how much we've already lived, or just, but how do we want to live those years? I love how you use the birds chirping though. It's not necessarily about the doing; it's
Yeah.
about the being,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love that you brought that out. What are some other ideas you have for moms who are in that busy space of feeling just the busyness? How do we break that down to more being?
Another gift I think I can give moms, which has been gifted to me as a mom by another person I was interviewing just a few days back, and I must give this gift to as many moms as possible, is somebody just like told me that motherhood is a masculine energy. And I looked at her and I smiled and I said, "You're so right. Being a mother is a masculine because it's do, do, do all the time. And masculine energy is about doing, 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 right? A feminine energy flows, she dances, she takes care of herself, she wants to, be this like this flower and fragrance and everything. And we are not that. We're actually in our masculine taking care of our children all the time. Because we are so consumed by all the doing that we need to do, brush the teeth, you know. Nobody's ever thought of that, Michelle, really. And I looked at my husband, I said, you know what? You're into masculine energy, doing work, 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 so am I. And that's taking me away from my self-expression. It's taking you away for sure. But men deal with self-expression stuff in a very different way. And I said, and I am thinking and getting convinced that I am in my full expression as a woman. I'm not. I and because I'm not taking care of myself, I will not show up, because my unpedicured feet and my face, my hair, my everything. I'm not like I'm not saying this you have to make your hair a certain way, but there's a quality with which you can flow, and I'm not in that quality. And if I'm not in that quality that the universe told me to be in, I will shrink, because I know, and the camera will come in front, and I will shrink because I know I'm not living a quality life with my body. And that is from the doing. So I can tell the mothers with whatever, however many students, and including myself, I'm still a student of self-portrait, that you just keep looking at yourself and just see, are you celebrating? Are you bringing your quality, which is yours, to keep and to be, in terms of your light emitting, in terms of everything you are doing? Are we really being true to that? And the minute we are, our children will be also in that light. And it's just a beautiful process, because you can take the help of self portraits to find it. And there is trauma, then there's psychologists, when we can go through a lot of years of self work and then say, let's time to show up. Or we could do it the other way around, let's show up and then peel the layers and undo the trauma. So photography, self portrait is, let's show up first, just the way we are, however we are, express it right now, and let's go backwards. And maybe we don't need to solve, because we already feel the ultimate result was showing up in our best self. And then that drops automatically. So rather than taking a long tour there, which is not wrong, but it sometimes takes too long and if we still don't show up, why not just start showing up anyway? And it's not about social media. Showing up means you enter a room, you're fully embodied, because you feel, you've looked at yourself, you've felt the quality. You're showing up for your children, you're showing up for your husband, yourself. And you look at the mirror, you're like, yeah, today you're showing up, you know? And that's what self-portrait work can do to you, of course.
I'm writing that down right now, because I'm thinking about asking that question, like you just said, in the mirror every day. Am I showing up in my full potential today? Like asking yourself when you wake up in the morning and putting your best foot forward, whatever that looks like today. And it doesn't always have to be the same. We're not always dressed up to the T or whatever, but sometimes we want to be. We want to be in that feminine energy and flow with that. And it's about honoring that and not feeling the guilt behind all that. But I just love how you brought that down. And you're right. I never really thought about all the doing as the masculine energy in motherhood, but there's so much of it. And then we do have the nurturing side, the feminine a little bit, but you're right, with just the going, doing, and all the activities and everything that is so doing and masculine. And just to think about that and to have that awareness now, I think you're right. It is the gift of motherhood, just that awareness to what it is. And I'm almost.
I was like, wow, thank you. So I was just like, wow, you just told me. And that is why I'm not feeling aligned, because I'm a woman and my feminine energy is not expressing itself. So I'm frustrated and I'm tight here. And showing up also doesn't mean, and it's nothing to do with how you look. Like, that is something that I'm breaking through self-portrait. It's nothing to do with how you look. Showing up is the freedom you feel when you wake up. It's the freedom on your shoulders. Are they broad? Are they expanding? Is your feet dancing? Is your head? It doesn't matter how you look at that time, because if you're in your freedom and if you're in expansion, no matter what kind of a hairstyle you have, people will look at you and say, what does she have that she looks like this? And
Exactly.
if you're just shrinking, people will look at you and say, what happened to her? You can be wearing the best of makeup and you can be wearing the most amazing outfit, but people will look at you, or you will look at yourself and say, what happened? Why am I shrinking? So expansion, shrinking, freedom is the focus of self-portrait workshop, not anything else really.
Well, I love that so much, because really that it's that freedom, that energy that you're putting out. And so we're going to be right back with getting Shikha to answer our question.
Have you ever been afraid to raise your hand in class or apply for the school play? I know I have, but not since I've joined the Speak Feed Lead project. The Speak Feed Lead project is now going to Tanzania to help the youth there get their voice heard. We need your help to give a donation. Any donation counts. If it's $5 or $100, any donation will help us be able to inspire the youth and change their lives and give them the power they need to speak from their hearts and give them their voice.
As we ask for a donation for this project, we also want to pass that voice and message along to you, as well as bringing more connection to you?
I don't know, but it's glitching a little bit. But we are going to Tanzania, and if you would like to donate, the link is in the chat for that as well.
Yeah, I just took
Yeah.
a picture of the code.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I just took the picture of the code to do that.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks for the reminder.
And there's a link in the chat too as well for those of you. But again, my son's so excited by it, and it's really getting our voices and words out there. And I think it's really with that image too is which I'm going to show right now, which is one of the pictures I did from Shikha's class. And it was really about defining my voice. And I was always putting the worth attached to the money. And so when I came up with the phrase, my voice is my worth and my business is my vessel to get my voice out there, and merging those two concepts of really defining what worth meant for me versus thinking it was attached to money. And I had that feeling for a while before I started working with Sheikha. And I think that's what this is all about. But on that note, we're going to dive into our 5 questions for Sheikha, which is number 1. What is your favorite podcast or resources helped you manage that busy life as a mom and business owner?
Wow. I'm a very curious being. For pointing at one, I'm just too curious. At one point in time, I have many books going on, many things. It's like, I feel I'm in this magical land and everything is calling me, and I am the queen of my life. So I just run after a butterfly somewhere, and I can run after a bird or a calling of a cheetah. I can do anything. So to answer that is very difficult for me. Many things have come in, and I can't point. I just keep walking and learning and walking and forgetting. But many people I listen to everybody around, from Bob Proctor to Mary Morrissey to Jesse Elder, who's my latest. I'm just in awe of him. To many people in India. Um, yeah, and these people I've been listening to, everybody I've listened to, and I think everybody has their gifts to offer. So I pick up what I need and I just move forward with that. If
I love that. I love how you said you pick up what you need, because it's so true. Like when you put it out there, what you want, also you're like, where did that come from? And it's like when you put those questions into the universe, like they start to come. But I love how you just said you're like got this array of all these informations, but then you just take what you need and you move on from it. Which leads us to number 2, which I can't wait to hear what you say, because what do you and your family do that helps bring joy to your family?
Well, I think the night times is very joyous. We play piggy in the middle. So my husband and both the boys are always playing that. They are playing something called dangal, which is a wrestling thing before sleeping. So that's the most joyous time for me to see, when they all unite and he's come back from work and they are waiting. So the bedtime routine is reading. And even if I have an 11-year-old boy who challenged me that I will start reading again if you read. So in the last 1.5 years, I've read 25 books to him, and the challenge is still on. So I read to my 11-year-old still, and I'm so glad that I didn't judge that, because ideally people would say an 11-year-old should read their own story. He can read very well, but that was his way of connecting to me, and the connection time we've had, the questions that come in, even from an 11-year-old today, when you read to them, it's unbelievable. And I would have missed on to those incredible questions and the answers I could give him if I would have not read to him like I read to my 4-year-old. So yeah, that's some of the things. And also, I'm moving forward and giving freedom to my children. So I try to interfere less with how they're expressing. I'm very conscious of, after especially doing this work, to get out of their way, especially with my older one who start turning a preteen. So yeah, that brings joy. And lots of kids in my house, lots of kids. All the neighbors' kids are always in my house. So a lot of food for them and a lot of drinks for them, and sometimes playing football with the boys. I'm the only aunt around watching, listening to my podcast while they're playing. So these are the methods of joy, because I don't want to miss anything, because my garden is going to be empty when they grow up. So I don't want to miss anything.
I love that so much. And actually, you're inspiring me to we haven't been reading in a while. We used to do it all the time, and for some reason we haven't lately. And now you're inspiring me to even maybe start doing that tonight, even with my late podcast, putting some time in there and making it a priority. Well, might not be tonight, but tomorrow night. Which brings us though into number 4, which I think is a perfect question for you, because I think a lot of us have this preconceived notion of what success is, and the more we actually talk about it and define it, really starts to change people. So for you, what is your definition of success, and how do you celebrate your successes?
My success is ease. Whatever I'm easy with, like whatever I feel easy. I don't think easy is a bad thing. We've been told that unless you struggle and you work hard, you're not worthy of actually success. I don't think that. I think the places I've worked hard, I have been miserable, and that's not my that miserable is not my success definition. Whatever comes easy and with flow, because I trust my curiosity, I trust my hard work, and hard work is not tough. So anything that comes with the ease and fluidity is, and I've done many things with a lot of ease and fluidity, even if it doesn't look to outside world, including my mom project. I find success to be something that is easy, and it improves the quality of your being, really, rather than depleting it, whether it's your health, whether it's your uh, way of talking, thinking. If you're not growing, success is not there, really. And anyway, for me, comparison to success, like I have failed many times in my life and academically and many times, but I don't, there's no comparison to success. So I've never failed, really. I'm just done things, and I'm just going to do things. So that's what I can say about success.
I love that. It's no real failures. It's just doing things. I love that. And then that leads us to number 5 is, how do we help our kids be inspired to find their genius?
By first recognizing that they're bringing their own gifts to this world, and it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you, and the learning is mutual. It's not a one side that you are the guide and they are the. It's learning is mutual when you become a parent. You're constantly learning from them. I mean, I was scared of lizards. I am not anymore. I look at them and I talk to them. That's come because of my son loving lizards and dinosaurs and stuff like that, right? Zombies and all these stuff that have come into my life, which I am absolutely okay with today, is all learned from them. Otherwise, I was a very bit scary cat about many things, and they've learned many things from me. So the inner genius will only come when they see the parents growing constantly, and in the process giving them the respect that their gifts are honored as well. And I always said that mothers must, they see their fathers succeed in many ways, do whatever the definition of success for the society is. But many times, because mothers have left and they've taken a step back. So I always urge mothers who I interview that keep dreaming. It doesn't matter if you have to stop. With children, you have to stop sometimes, but keep climbing somewhere. So, and take them on your back. Like, don't leave them behind and then don't call them from the top and say, "Hey, come here. See, I did this." Take them with you, and in that whole process, if you're learning, they will learn, and the view that they'll have from the top of the mountain is going to be so much different from you telling them or lying low yourself and never rising, because they'll only go to a point. But when they see their parent, their mother is rising all the way top, and they say, "This is how the view is now. Go ahead from here." That learning with her, the bonding, the coming together, celebrating her success, her failures, her journey, will only make them a stronger person ahead. So don't tell them to do, and their genius will only rise when you rise with them. Don't lie low. They will never rise, even if they are gifted human beings, because you've forgotten your gifts.
Oh, I love that so much. On that note, though, thank you so much. Can you tell everyone how to get a hold of you, and what's your final takeaway for everyone?
I'm very active on Facebook, photographer Shikha. Very, very active on Facebook. Messenger is a great place to reach out. Of course, there are links I'll be putting in the comments. There is a workshop starting tomorrow, and there's a discount for anybody who's joining in for the. I'll put all the details in the comments. But the workshop keeps happening every 45 days, and please reach out to me if you do need to know more. And that's the place you can reach me, Facebook. And what I can just say before leaving is, remember how many more, just ask yourself, how many more winters and summers will you want to feel like this? So
I can't highly recommend Shikha's class more. Really helped me come out and see things in a different light. And you can just feel the growth and things when you start to actually see that. And so I just want to thank you so much for coming on today, Sheikha. And I'm going to put you backstage while I go through all your takeaways. Hopefully I got everything right. So look at all my notes that I was taking from Sheikha as she was talking. And so I'm going to refresh that all for you. But number one is that feeling that we will always be enough. That negative chatter in our head has to stop. And that feeling, getting to that feeling that we feel enough. And one of the ways, again, is through that self-portrait workshop in terms of really finding out who you are, which leads us to number two, that process to merge that Mama Genius Festival, that Sheikha, that we're opening these doors for you to step in. But ultimately, it's your choice to step into it and to find that process. And part of that process leads us to takeaway number three is looking at that inner child questions. How you can get yourself those triggers and things that you find from that child's perspective, your own child, and those answers are what's going to lead you to seeing that come forth. And I thought I wrote down a question that she gave us, and now I can't find it. We'll get into takeaway 4, and maybe I'll come back as I circle my notes. But takeaway number 4 is to learn the techniques of the art form. So of the self-portrait, learning how to use your camera, how to do some of the techniques that go into creating that image that you see for yourself, not that a photographer or someone else, but that you get to create for yourself. And then that leads us into her final takeaway, which she actually just gave to us, is how long have you been feeling that way? How long have you felt judged? How long have you felt humiliated or shown that you don't like your pictures or things like that? That it's time to make that choice to look at it differently. And so that's up to you. And that bonus takeaway, that gift that she gave us from the podcast she was on, was motherhood is a lot of times that masculine energy. We don't think of it that way, but all the doing, the busyness that we're doing, trying to get things on time, and all those things are really hard on us. And sometimes it's coming back to living in that feminine and being part and living in that flow and finding that for ourselves as well. And it's just really about giving yourself, your own self, that permission to realize that you already are enough and you don't even need the permission. You are. And that is the final takeaway, is that having that freedom inside of you, knowing that you have that feeling of freedom. And that is what we're trying to achieve, is knowing that we can walk into a room and just feel we are ourselves and have that freedom of expression. Whether it's a good hair day or a bad day, it doesn't matter as long as you're feeling that freedom. And that is my biggest takeaway from Sheikha today, is releasing that and going, you are worthy to feel that freedom. Thank you all for tuning in to the Mama Genius Festival today and the podcast. We got a bonus in today.
Thank you for joining us in today's episode of the Mama Genius Hub podcast. If you found value in our conversation, please share this episode with another mama who might benefit. Sharing helps us build a supportive community and reach out to more mamas like you. After all, it's more fun when we do motherhood together. Until next time, stay motivated and continue to pursue your dreams as you shine in your genius.